I'm Jille. I'm from the University of Amsterdam. I did both my bachelor and my master's there, so I'm currently a second-year master's student in artificial intelligence. Interning at Rhythm, which stands for Real-Time Health Monitoring. So it's a company that focuses on treating patients with long COVID and other chronic illnesses. So the major part of the company is an actual clinic. We're currently seeing about 200 patients. And then we have a lab side and a tech side. And I'm involved with the tech side. So my official title is a AI and data intern. Doesn't 100% line up with what I actually do because it's such a small company. You wear 100 different hats basically. So you do a lot of different stuff. Currently I'm mainly involved with the development of our patient app. So we're developing a patient app and also for our doctors to see the results of what the patients do, etc. So I'm busy there because when I came to the company, all the data was in Google Sheets, and I was like, yeah, this is not workable. So ever since then, I've been busy with that and some side AI projects.
Have you enjoyed working for a startup? What's been the best part?
It's very fun. So I specifically looked for a startup because I've worked at other bigger companies before, ranging from like 300,000 people to 15,000 people. I did not like that. So when I was looking for an internship, I specifically looked for a smaller company. And I've really liked it so far. It's all way more personal, like you're having dinner with the boss, and titles are, everyone has a title, but they're sort of meaningless. When I joined, there were about 10 people and currently about 38 people, so we've grown significantly.
So how did you find them? So can you describe your internship search? How long did it take? What was your approach?
So I started off with my internship search on LinkedIn mostly, which didn't work out at all. So when I was searching, it was sort of at the end of COVID. So most of the bigger companies were all focused on getting people back to the workplace. So a bit less about hiring international students. And LinkedIn recruiters also weren't really focused on that much. So it didn't really work out through LinkedIn, and I started emailing people and I got a few responses there. So because I was looking for a smaller company, I was mainly looking through the website Y Combinator, which is a company that sponsors startups basically, and they have a very big list of like hundreds and hundreds of smaller startups. You can just scroll through them, and they have like a short statement about what the company does, and then find an email of the CEO or something and email them. And I got about 5 responses in 50 emails, and of the 5 I had like 3 interviews, and then I ended up with this company here. But I definitely would recommend, just if you want to go for smaller companies, just email them.
Did you find RTHM on?
I found it on Y Combinator, yeah.
On Y Combinator, and then
I emailed
their
Ryan.
General, or just you found Ryan's
Yeah,
email?
I found Ryan's and Jen's email. Jen is our chief medical officer, and Ryan is our CEO. And I emailed them both, and I think a day later I got a response, and we had about, I think, 1 interview, and they were like, okay, we want you, and then we had like 2 other meetings to talk about details, and that's basically it. Well, I also had like an interview with a scale up of about 300 people, but that was like 5 different interviews, and it's like that already feels too big for me.
How did the internship experience compare to the expectations before you arrived?
So my expectations were on purpose very low because I just didn't even know if I could go because visa stuff, etc. You never know with the US government. So I was trying to keep my expectations very low until I was actually like in the plane. I was like, okay, this is happening. I think my expectations were more AI related, which it's been a bit less, or barely any, but it's been very fun because I'm doing a lot of stuff I'm not used to, so I'm learning a lot more than I otherwise would have. So yeah, I've really been liking it, and the team is great, and everyone here is very nice. So it's been fun and definitely better than my expectations.
Yeah. How did you go about networking and building connections while you're here? And what would you give advice for others to do the same?
So one big help has definitely been the internships in the Valley and the Dutch consulate here. They host a lot of events. So for example, there's having a drinks every month with all like Dutch people in the Bay Area. They go to a bar and they just have drinks. It's always a very easy way to meet people. When I came here like a month after, we had a huge event at Stanford where we met a lot of people, and also the Dutch Queen and all kinds of famous people. So definitely a lot of events hosted by them helped, and also just like corporate events. Our company is like belongs to certain groups and they host events. But I think if you wanted to meet more people socially, you have to join a tennis club or something like that, because I mean, with a smaller company like this, I don't really have many coworkers. Plus, the coworkers I do have are remote, since the entire company is remote. So they live all throughout the US, so that's kind of hard to become friends with.
What are some things you wish you had known before embarking on your internship abroad, and how do you think you could have prepared better?
Because I was keeping my expectations so low, I sort of went in there with a blank mind, a blank slate sort of. So I didn't really, have any expectations, and just whatever happened. But I would definitely say be prepared for bureaucratic bullshit. Like opening a bank account and all that kind of stuff. It's going to take you a few days and you have to figure it all out. But also, just reach out to people who have done it, because that makes it so much easier than trying to figure it out yourself. Which I did with, for example, Maggie helped a lot, and Deborah from the consulate, and just send them questions that are now you can ask other interns questions. With basically anything. You have to buy a car and that kind of stuff, which a lot of, you're moving to the other side of the world, so there's a lot to take care of, which I sort of expected, but then once you actually have to do it, it's a different story. So just be prepared for that. It's not all fun, especially in the beginning, and also expect to spend quite a lot of money in the first month, because you're going to notice you're missing a lot of stuff.
What is your top piece of advice for future candidates that would like to do an internship in the US?
My top advice is just try. Even if they don't respond, I know it's annoying. I also email a bunch of people and they didn't respond, or they just sent back with, "Oh, we don't have any open positions right now." Yeah, sure, it's annoying, but otherwise you wouldn't have known that. So just send them an email, reach out, and I know it takes a lot of work. Find their email, send them an email, find their LinkedIn, etc. But if you really want it, you have to put in some hours and just keep trying. That's the easiest way to get here.